Welcome, friends. I know I said that we were going to do a KOTOR playthrough, but in all honesty, I really just wanted to have a game that's going to get my heart rate up. And Dark Souls, Demon Souls, and the whole Dark Souls series, Bloodborne, Sekiro, all those games are absolutely one of my favorites to play. And I just couldn't resist waiting any longer, so I'm at least just gonna start my playthrough here on Dark Souls Remastered. We're gonna start off as a wanderer. My gift is the master key, and then I don't know. I kind of just did like random stuff, like random. I don't know what you would call it, like random sliders and such to make my character look this way. I did choose the long hair, but everything else is pretty much just random. I think I added eyebrows because I think Kareem didn't. The preset face didn't have any, but. I'm really excited to start this playthrough with you, so let's go ahead and do it.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Alright, now let's get started. Alright, so the very end part there, that other undead knight, whatever you want to call him, just dropped down our cell key, so now we can get the heck out of here. But you don't have to kill these things. I mean, it's 20 souls, but whatever. Just in case you want to get acclimated to the combat, I would always just two-hand my weapon, because I think they die in like 3 hits, maybe, something like that. And I usually never choose to play as a wanderer, and my voice just cracked. Wow, must be going through puberty again. I've never really started out as a wanderer. I typically always would start out as like as a knight. I don't know. It's got a decent shield, broadsword. I don't know. I always just favor that kind of stuff. Especially like that's the first class actually that I chose when I started playing Dark Souls. There we go. All right. And oh man, I think I mentioned this in my Demon Souls playthrough, but I actually I had never heard of Dark Souls when it first came out. I had no idea about Demon Souls either. Just well, I guess I should explain that. Sorry, folks. There will be a demon that jumps down. I'm just on autopilot. You're gonna want to just quick make a beeline for it. You know, you're gonna go through the gate. It'll shut, and then you're completely safe. But like I was saying, I hadn't heard of these games, and actually one of my buddies, I think it was like Games for Gold or something like that. He ended up telling me, like trying to entice me about the game. He was saying like, oh, it's going to take you about 60 hours to complete, and it's very difficult. It's regarded as one of the most challenging games, or a dungeon crawler. So as soon as I heard that, I'm like, sign me up. And then ever since, I've been a really big fan of From Software, all the Souls games. Can't believe I actually rolled through that nonsense. Backstep versus a roll. And good news is also, since we're playing as the Wanderer, we can actually fast roll. I think your equipment burden or something like that has to be under a certain percentage, and I don't remember, to be honest, what exactly the percentage is, but gosh, I'm so rusty. Okay, well, so much for that. But now that the boulder rolled down, broke this is actually the same knight that or the undead that saved us, gave us the key.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I, we're both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family: thou who art undead art chosen. In thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
So speaking to that mystery knight, we just got some Estus flasks, which will act as your healing. And he just, I think, committed suicide or died. But he'll come back as a hollow, meaning like his soul, I don't know, he doesn't have his soul anymore, and he's kind of like a husk. But kind of like that guy. Also, we got the key, so we can keep moving forward, and he was saying that there's a bell of awakening that we have to ring that's going to determine the fate of the undead. So that's, right now, that's going to be our quest. Beyond getting the heck out of here. There we go. Let's do backstab. Oh, not bad. See if I can parry this guy. Nope. Man, really rusty. Dang it. Nice. There we go. Alright. Now we took out all the other enemies. You'll see these, just the boss fog. Usually the white light means you're going into a boss fight, so I would recommend just make sure you have your melee weapon out, even if you're not playing as a melee character, like if you're playing as a sorcerer. Bring out your melee weapon. We're gonna jump down, and then I'm actually gonna hold the right bumper, which will do a plunging attack on to that guy. And I think if you wait too long, he'll actually make you come down, like he'll attack you. Ooh, that was close. Usually staying behind him, like attacking his butt. He seems to not attack. And then he'll also telegraph like which way he'll be swinging his hammer if you stand behind him. But just like that, he's down. And there we go. We got a humanity because we beat him on our first try. And we got the big pilgrim's key, so we can leave. Alright, let's not rush to get up there. If you come left here, you'll find an item, Soul of a Lost Undead. It's just a consumable. It'll just give you some souls. I don't recommend you using it just, quite yet. Over this way, there's the crows. I think it's Snuggly the Crow. I think that's its name. That's another place, kind of like in Demon Souls. You can just trade items there, like drop the item into the nest, save, and then reload, and the item that it will give you will be in place of the item that you gave. But obviously, we just started out. We don't have jack squat, so there's not much we could trade, but we'll come back here eventually.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
larger end, you level up and kindle at bonfires. So it's going to act as our main hub, like Firelink Shrine, at least for right now. It's kind of reminiscent of the Nexus, at least to me, just because Firelink Shrine is typically where all like the NPCs that you'll encounter on your journey, that's where they'll congregate at different points. But now as you see top left, like the 0, and it's all grayed out, that means that we are in hollow form. What that means is that we cannot summon other characters, and I believe we cannot be invaded by other players as well, as long as we're hollow. So just in case you're new to the franchise or any of that kind of stuff, it might be a good idea just to continue to play offline until you get used to the controls. I remember first playing, and I got invaded like right off the bat by a twink, or by somebody that had very, very, very strong gear, or better gear than I did, but they were relatively the same level as me. So they were still able to invade me, and they absolutely kicked my dick in. That was a fun first experience, but tell you what, let me just quick do my typical run that I do just to try to get a good start, and then I'll end the episode here. I won't be talking to him, but this is Petrus. This is he's just an NPC. You know what? Fuck it, we're gonna talk to him.
Hello there. I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
Alright. He, I believe, is the giver for the Way of White Covenant, which I believe that's just good for like co-op, like cooperative and such. But now, just to give an idea of what I'm going to do, there's a lot of like lootable items. I don't know if you can see if I can do it right. Right at top of the tip of my scimitar, there's that blue dot, white dot. That's another item, but we're going to be picking up all the lootable items around here. I'll be using the consumables that I pick up just to get more souls, so we can level up. And hopefully I don't die at this, as well as we're going to get an item that's going to improve our Estus Flask. I'm going to try to do that early, so it's going to make the game easier on us, in addition to any of you that are following along. Alright. Just got a bunch of stuff down here. Let's go this way. Wade's Talisman. That's good. Alright, all these skeletons are going to come alive. Don't worry. That's normal. But you are most likely not going to be strong enough to defeat them. And I think they also respawn, if I'm not mistaken. You have to attack them or kill them with like a blessed or a holy weapon in order for them to actually die and not keep getting resurrected. That's horrifying. Alright, let's see. Can I get them all to come up here? We'll go down. There we go. Whew. Don't bother fighting them, seriously. There's no point in that. And don't be afraid of drinking your Estus. You know, Dark Souls compared to Demon Souls, now you'll always have Estus Flask that whenever you rest at a bonfire, it'll get refilled to whatever strength your bonfire is. And what I mean by that is you can kindle bonfires initially. You have to be human to do so. So I'll have to explain it after I'm done fighting. But every time you set at a bonfire, just right off the bat, you're going to automatically be given 5 Estus Flask unless you kindle it. And kindling means that you have to use a humanity that will be banked in your top left. So you'll sacrifice one of your humanity that you already have, like, I don't know, absorbed or such. And then you'll be able to get more Estus Flask at the bonfire every time that you kindle it. And I'll make sure I show you guys that, don't worry. Alright, what's the jump in this? Okay, good. I have it mapped to the left. This, man, this jump used to give me a lot of trouble because I think back before the remastered version came out, you had to like hold B or circle and then tap it or like double tap it to get them to jump. Whereas now you can just, at least for me, click in the left thumbstick as you're sprinting, and then you'll jump, which is great. Cool. Ring of Sacrifice, that is good. We're gonna actually use that once we get down the level. Down here, that is the Firekeeper. For Dark Souls 1, there are NPCs called Firekeepers, which are like they're supposed to tend to the flames. You can give certain items to them in order to increase the potency of your Estus Flask, which we will be doing as soon as I get the item. But we'll encounter at least, I want to say at least 3 unique Firekeepers throughout our journey here. It's like beating up on a defenseless opponent, or a helpless opponent. Alright. We just ended up using the Master Key. That's another reason why I picked that up. It's just good to have. It'll, help us unlock a certain amount of doors and just kind of open up some shortcuts for us early. But we just picked up another soul. And let's go ahead. An S-stock? That's not a bad weapon at all. It's more like a poker. Oh no! Oh, I thought for a second I fell off. And Transient Curse. We're not going to use that as well. We'll use that later on, but just go ahead and put the Homeward Bone on your quick slot. And then we're going to make a beeline for the item. There will be enemies here that we can't damage, but they can damage us. Which is where that... Ooh, they're ghosts. The Transient Curse is good for. Once you use that, you'll actually be able to damage the ghosts, but obviously that's much later in the game. But run straight, you'll get the Firekeeper Soul, and then just go ahead and return to the last bonfire. If need be, you can always just go ahead and put on that Ring of Life Protection. It'll actually, it'll shatter when you have it on if you die, but at least I don't believe you'll lose any of your souls. I don't think you'll lose your humanity, so it's just a good, kind of a good oh crap kind of moment. But alright, so we have the Firekeeper Soul. Let's go down to our Firekeeper. Let's go ahead and give it to her. There you go. And we're at +1. So now it should heal just a little bit more. And tell you what, let's go ahead and... Actually, I don't think I need it. I usually just put them on my quick slots, like any of the consumable souls that I've picked up along the way. I don't know, it's just what I prefer. And then I can just go ahead and keep spamming that X button or square button for you on PlayStation. Just to use all these souls. I don't know. Hang on. Let me see. Can you... Oh, you can. Okay. You can use multiple. Alright. It's been a little bit since I played this. Let's take these off. I just remember in the other, like in before they did the remastered version, you could only use consumable items one at a time, so I would always just put them on my quick bar, just because that's easier. Whenever you used an item, it would always kick you out of like the menu, so you'd have to, you know, go back in the menu, find the item, use the item. It was just a real big pain in the butt. But now we have 6,624 souls. Let's go ahead and level up. What do I want? I don't exactly know what kind of build I'm going to be doing just yet, but tell you what, let's put some points into endurance, vitality. Just kidding. I think I know what I'm going to do. Let's get at least 16 strength. Yeah. I think that'll do. Okay. I just want 16 strength because there's going to be a weapon that we'll get a little bit later. And I think that's the base strength stat that you need. But friends, I think this is where I'm going to end the episode. I'm super excited to start this playthrough with you, and I'll just see you all in the next episode. All right, take care, friends. Bye-bye.